So today on YouTube we'll show you how to make an atomic device out of these tortillas, furniture markers, and a mysterious can of furniture polish. But I don't think I'll save that for another time. You don't want to do that anyway. Anyway, well, now that we've got the stupid joke out of the way, I have a member, subscriber, that regularly comments directly to me on email, which is okay, that I never make enough jokes. But he didn't say they do. He didn't say they had to be good jokes. Anyway. Well, so I was doing a little snooping around the other day. Had some time on my hands. We lost power the other day. Yesterday, actually. And it drug on for about over 12 hours. No biggie, though. And I was digging around, reading some old books and stuff. And I was doing a little research on a topic the other day. And I might throw my hat in that ring and get it promptly bit to shreds, but I don't know. We haven't decided yet. Anyway, I decided it was a topic I really didn't know too much about, and I went back to an old friend. For those of you who've never seen one of these, this was an annual book called The Passport to World Band Radio. I'm not sure how long this book went on. It's no longer in production, which is really a shame. I used to quite enjoy it. It was a first of the year, you ran out to the local bookstore. Yeah, we actually had bookstores when this was being published. And now I think they're few and far between. And you bought a copy. Spent the rest of the year wearing it out. Anyway, I was looking for some information, and I thought that this might have it. And surprisingly enough, it didn't. At least the copy I picked up, this was the 2007 version. This might be the last year. I'm not 100% sure. So if I'm incorrect, feel free to comment. Won't hurt anything. And I was thumbing around. If you've never seen one of these, it's a pretty decent book. It's got some basic information about shortwave radio, listening in general. It's got some stuff about the countries, stuff about reviews about radios, and on and on and on. There were some things about antennas, things about, it's kind of interesting because it's broken up in a couple different ways. It's sorted a couple different ways. There was, what to hear during certain times of the day, like here everything's in UTC. So here at 1400 UTC, you could hear Radio Japan. There were addresses for, it's kind of a reference type thing. Here was world band stuff. And then there was a kind of a handy dandy little chart in the back based on frequency and kind of time of day. It was a pretty decent book. It was always, it used to be $19.95. And actually this is a old copy I got for $7. I use it as a reference. Anyway, I was doing some research. I couldn't find what I was looking for in here, but interestingly enough, there's an old saying that knowledge is power. Well, that's true, but it's only as powerful as long as you can remember it. And there were a couple things in here that I stumbled onto. I was talking with a friend today, and I mentioned this to him, and he, fairly knowledgeable gentleman, couldn't, it was like the top three must-haves for shortwave radio listening. And I'm pretty sure that was the topic. And I thought I'd share those with you because I mentioned it to him and then kind of quizzed him, and he was a bit perplexed. And I'll be honest, I was a bit perplexed too. There we go. At first, and then it made more sense. Number 3. There's only 3. They only had top 3. Must have the right radio. And basically, in a nutshell, they've got a little paragraph here. Choose carefully, but start affordably. Probably pretty good wisdom. Talked a little bit about table sets. Here it said, select a radio with digital display. That's personal choice. Analog radios with slide type tuning or dial type tuning. Kind of avoid them is what they were saying. Bottom line here is when you buy a radio, avoid cheap models, especially slide rule types. I've kind of got that as a rule. Don't break the bank. Okay, pretty good rules to live by. Number 2. Anybody got an idea what number 2 is? And finding the stations. Now, this was meant to go with the book. Passport shows the station schedules in 3 ways: by country, by time of day, and by frequency. Well, this is still valid. It just doesn't apply to the book anymore because the book is not so up to date. But there are plenty of good websites. I suggest you just look at a few. Trying to see if there's any other good, useful information. This was a good comment over here. No censorship, even during war. So we're down to number 1, the top one, which surprised me, but it didn't. Number 1. Here it is. World time and day. World band schedules use a single time. World band is global, with programs aired around the clock nearly every time. Aired around the clock from nearly every time zone. Imagine the chaos if each station's schedule were given in local time, and listeners were scattered all over the world. Yeah, it'd be a real laugh a minute. I can't even keep track of my own watch. Solution: dun, 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 one time to rule them all. It's UTC time is what it is. Here it says UTC, and it says that it used to be called Greenwich Mean Time. That isn't necessarily true, I don't believe, but that's my opinion. But UTC is, and it's actually, if you listen to WWV, which is one of the time stations here in the States anyway, it's called Coordinated Universal Time, which is kind of interesting. That's actually a compilation of, according to what I've read, of about 200 different atomic clocks, and then some information about what they call celestial time. I believe let me think if I can get this right. The Earth's rotation is slowing, so we need to add time for leap seconds to counteract it, to make it come out right. There we go. And it also mentions in here too, if you're in one time zone and the other time zone passes into the next day, which is possible. A perfect example would be over in Europe, say England, for example. They could be in the next day, and you could be behind them. It'd be pretty easy to do. There's about 6 hours difference. So pay a little bit of attention to the scheduling. Pay attention to the dates too. I've gotten bit by that before. So there you go. The top 3 shortwave listening must-haves. Not stuff that I was thinking, and not stuff that the fellow YouTuber I was talking to was thinking, like antennas and a little bit more obvious. You got to have a radio. A decent middle ground radio to get started. You got to know what to look for. You got to have a schedule. Doesn't matter where it comes from. And you got to have the correct time. Without those things, they're kind of a triangle. Without those things, you're kind of up a creek. There's a few other must-haves, and I have a video of that too, which I'll be working on. So there you go. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Anyway, take it easy. Have a groovy day.